Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about hair loss, how to prevent, what works and what doesn't. So I wanted to make this video because I get really long emails, long story messages about people that, have gone through chemo or experiencing health issues where it's made their hair gone a lot thinner or hormonal changes, pregnancy, all of these things. And obviously it's very touching and it's something that I obviously want to reply. And I also just want a video that I can reference to when I get asked this question in the future. And I know that this issue is definitely a big deal both for men and women. Like with everything else, there's like an easy, add extensions if it's the length you don't like, change the color, you can change the texture, you can change everything about your hair. But when you're experiencing hair loss, it's probably one of the scariest things that can happen to your hair. So I'm going to explain what hair loss is and why a lot of products that claim that they stop or reverse hair loss are gimmicky. All right, so we are all born with the amount of follicles on our head and on our bodies of the amount of hair that you will ever grow in your life. So for the most part, all of those follicles are working and hair grows in stages. So that means that a hair grows basically to its fullest capacity and then that hair sheds. So whether it be a hair on your head that can grow basically almost indefinitely, or say compared to an eyebrow hair which only grows to a certain length and then stops. Either way, those hairs are always kind of recycling each other. So they get to a certain stage, they fall off, that hair follicle gets almost a little bit of a break, and a new hair forms and grows out of that follicle. And every single follicle of yours is doing that. So when people start to experience hair loss, normally what it is that follicle just stops working. So that hair fell off and not a new one's coming out of it. Obviously when it happens in patches or in big quantities, that's when you start to notice, baldness or kind of more sparseness, or some people start noticing it at the hairline. And obviously if this is hormonal, if this is, due to chemotherapy or, actual health concerns that are from within, honestly, there's probably nothing that can really reverse that until your body gets back to its normal state. So say like pregnancy, I always tell my clients just like be patient. All that gorgeous thick hair that you grew while you were pregnant, shortly after you give birth, normally you start to experience a lot of hair thinning. And just know that that's because your hormones are kind of going a little crazy. And as soon as your body gets kind of back into the groove of things, so will your hair. So that is definitely not something to worry about, nor is it something you can really change. Now, what I do want to talk about is there are things that you could be doing that could be leading to the hair loss. And if that's the case, we obviously want to stop that and try and get that hair back. So again, if you can imagine a hair follicle, it, has the supply of blood flow and like nutrients that are being, given to the hair. And that's why our diet, our lifestyle, so many things do contribute to your hair. So in order to keep that follicle at its optimal, healthiest state, so you are doing everything you absolutely can do to make sure that if it's not growing, it's something from within and there's nothing else you can do. So first and foremost is wash your hair daily. If not, then maybe every other day. And now I know tons of clients and tons of friends that say, you know what, I can get away with washing my hair only, every 3 days or once a week even. And honestly, if it works for you and you have a thick head of hair, great. I'm not, trying to change anyone that, has that belief. But if you are worried, if you think about it, that hair follicle has a little bit of space in between where that hair grows. And if that hair follicle gets clogged with debris from, everyday elements around the hairline, we get hair products, we get facial products, we get oils that are clogged into there. And if you think about it, if you don't cleanse it on a daily basis, it just keeps getting more clogged and more clogged. And so what you have to worry about is basically when there's not a hair in the follicle and that accumulates with, oil and debris. And if that gets clogged for, say a week, and then you shampoo your hair after that, but you didn't get a deep cleanse deep down into the follicle because it's kind of more an external thing, what ends up happening is that follicle gets so clogged that that hair does not have the power to kind of break through. And if you leave it clogged long enough, what's going to happen is that follicle is just going to completely die. And once that follicle is dead, there is no product, no miracle, anything that can bring growth back to that follicle. Now there is like hair implants and that kind of stuff, and that's a completely different thing. Obviously, if you're adding a new bulb or like a new follicle, then of course. But that actual follicle that is dead, up until now, there's not really anything that can kind of revive it. So what we can do is really maintain all the active hair follicles that we have clean and at their best so that healthy hair can grow freely from them. So keeping the scalp cleansed is absolutely key. Another thing you can do is like an apple cider vinegar rinse. And what that does is that actually seeps into the follicles and gives it a deep, squeaky, clean kind of feeling. And apple cider vinegar is actually alkaline, so it will remove even more oils and it will really just deep clean that follicle. Another thing that could lead to hair loss is actually dryness of the scalp. And that's why I always recommend to really hydrate the scalp. If you're someone that you could just feel it, if you tend to get dandruff, if you have an itchier scalp, if you can just feel that your scalp's a little bit drier. Typically people that have dry skin, they will have a dry scalp as well. So in that case, what I recommend doing is with a soft kind of a boar bristle brush, really brush out the scalp like every night. I just say every night because that you're kind of getting rid of everything that kind of went on like during the day. If you take a shower at night, this is a great time. Take a shower really make sure to brush the scalp, not just brushing the hair. You're almost massaging the scalp and like stimulating both blood flow to those hair follicles, but you're actually almost getting even a little bit deeper clean. Think of it almost as a like little brush for your scalp. And then on top of that, I would definitely recommend a very hydrating oil for your scalp. So let's face it, most of us don't like walking around with greasy, messy hair. So what I like to do, and I like to do this at least, once a week, maybe once a month when, if it's like summer, but really, like I said, just really scrubbing your scalp and applying an oil. Any really high grade oil that is organic. Obviously, if you are stimulating the scalp, we don't want to put anything that's not natural and organic, or at least I wouldn't. Another one that I've been using is the Rejuvinique Monat oil, and it looks like that, and so it just makes application really easy to really just massage that oil into your scalp. I like to concentrate around the hairline, and quite a while ago I started to notice that I had like more sparse hairs around my hairline. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to like get on this regimen and really like cleanse my scalp, brush it and stimulate it once in a while, and just hydrate it. And honestly, I have so many new baby hairs growing, and that is definitely due to really getting in there, cleansing out those hair follicles. And so all those hair follicles that were still alive are obviously growing new hair out of. And the good thing about this is that once you have hair growing freely again, normally that hair follicle will kind of like pick up itself and kind of, get it going. And it's not something you need to be like doing every day. So that's the natural, most easiest way you can take care of this problem at home with mostly things that you probably already have. Now I wanted to talk about other products, say hair vitamins or products like Rogaine or products that claim that you can get hair that you've lost back. So hair vitamins, I'm actually not against. I do believe that hair and all of that, like it does come from within. So if you're supplying your body with the vitamins that are essential to hair, absolutely you will notice a difference. But that is more for like hair length, hair thickness. What it's not going to do is activate hair follicles. That you can't do from a vitamin. But say your hair grows really slow, or you're having a ton of breakage, or like after pregnancy where like your hormones are just kind of not where they're supposed to be yet, then I do recommend a hair vitamin. And obviously this is personal to everyone. I know plenty of friends that are on biotin and love it. I've heard great things about the hair gummy vitamins. So honestly, and I mean, I see it in clients. I have clients that tell me like, oh, I'm taking this, and their hair like grew 2 inches in the last month. So I'm definitely not against hair vitamins and things like that, so long as they're natural, obviously, and you know, they go well with you and they don't go against anything else that you're taking, of course. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about like Rogaine and those kind of products. So what those products are, it's almost like a drug that stimulates hair growth. And what it does is, like, for that follicle that's kind of just on that standby mode, it kind of like wakes it up and it's like, hello, like, start growing hair. So again, you will notice results, but the thing with those kind of products is the second you stop taking it or the second you stop being on it, you will lose all that progress. Whereas when you do something kind of more natural, the way I explained, that's more long-term. And lastly, which is what I would recommend men or even women that, you know, are experiencing hardcore kind of hair loss where they are starting to see baldness, I would definitely recommend the ampules or capsules, like a 30-day scalp treatment. Basically kits that you can get, like Redken has an amazing one. My dad has actually used that. And stuff like that, that does work. You will notice baby hairs like growing. And again, the second you stop using it, you will lose those results, but it's something more topical and it's not a drug that you're actually taking. So it's a lot healthier and better for you. So say you want to keep doing it, or say you want to do it, you know, twice a year to just kind of keep those follicles alive, then that's, in my opinion, a better option. So that's like my info and knowledge that I have to share with you guys on these techniques and ways to prevent hair loss. I feel like I couldn't finish the video without just mentioning another alternative. This is probably in case of more extreme measures, but my last suggestion would be a wig or hair pieces. Extensions have come a long way. You can get like a top part that's extensions that literally has like the part. So if you still have hair, so if you still have plenty of hair down here, but you're experiencing baldness at the top, that's something you can consider. I also have to say that wigs have come such a long way. Obviously, I hope that neither of you will ever be in that situation that you do need it. But if so, just know that, I mean, I know that that doesn't fix the real problem, but if we can feel, you know, a little more confident, and if there's something that you can just do to not, you know, remind yourself of, say, maybe this issue. I know that hair loss also can stem from a lot of stressful situations. Sometimes just really bad times in your life can, you know, bring this out. And if you have something that can just, you know, make you feel happy and confident, and, you know, you're not reminded of this problem or situation every time you look in the mirror, I definitely think that's a huge positive. Obviously, I'm not in any way trying to say that beauty is the answer to all your problems and it can fix it. Absolutely not at all. Obviously, it starts from within. But obviously that's what the beauty industry is about making you feel, you know, your best and making you feel like you have reached your utmost potential, at least from the outside. So yes, that's what I'm here for, hair advice and just super insightful wisdom. I will leave linked down below all the products that I've talked about, both the ones you should be using and maybe the ones you shouldn't. And as always, I will also leave my pages on where you can reach me. I almost feel like it's getting a little out of hand with, I have my hair chat page where it's like a forum that you can ask hair questions, and there's other hairdressers on there answering your questions. I've got my regular Ellebangs Facebook page, which is just an extension to here where you can be a little more personal, ask me something. And then I've got my Monat with Ellebangs, a Facebook page. And for a lot of you guys that have questions on Monat, for people that have already ordered and then have a question and they leave it somewhere on YouTube and then I don't get to it until it's too late, obviously on that Monat Facebook page, it is strictly just for that. So if you have a question, we can kind of answer quickly. So we try and keep it a little bit more organized so that we can kind of get to people based on what, you know, how time sensitive their questions are and so forth. So, but of course, I will leave all of that below. I hope you guys have had an amazing start to the new year. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.